Guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Detroit Steel. This is something else. I love this package. Don't mind the extra stuff up here. I didn't plan on showing it, but this thing is so big. You know, you get this nice picture of Detroit Steel on the front. Nice little head at the top there. I don't know what they're actually called in comics. Little blueprint diagram on the side. Another image on the back showing you a better look at the figure and telling you how tall he is. Render of the figure on the side. Iron Man logo on the top. Not much else on the bottom. But again, I really love, like, I know that windowless boxes are over and I'm happy about that. But man, I wish they would have been doing this the whole time. Get a figure in a cool pose instead of just vanilla posed, and I probably would have bought a few more. Like, more than I already did, and I bought a fair few. But, like, get this nice little comic-looking art going. It's amazing. I would have loved to have seen that. I love the Deadpool packaging as well, because without window, I need something creative. Where's one of the boxes I can use here? Let's just use Fury, for example. How boring that is. Does that really make you want a Nick Fury figure? Compared to if it, you know, maybe looked like a movie poster or something like that, looked like this. That's what I thought. No, this is great. I would say we need more of this, but we're back to windowed packaging. Thank God. So yeah, without further ado, let's get this guy open. And here we have Detroit Steel out of the packaging, and he's okay, you know. I haven't seen anyone talk about this figure, and I've kind of realized why. Like, I bought this guy because I thought, oh, he looks cool. You know, clearly an Iron Man villain. He reuses MCU Ironmonger's sculpt. But, you know what? Let me just move this guy off to the side here a little bit. And I'm going to try and put the 3 photos I found online of this guy. That is right. I could only find 3 pictures. I don't even know what he's about. I think maybe it's Justin Hammer or something. I'm not sure. I just tried to Google some pictures to see how accurate this thing is, and I could not find anything because the only photos there are. This is kind of accurate, but for the most part, it's really not. Because in the books, his chest is not this circular shape, it's more of blocky squared, same with his shoulders. His arms, the only thing they really did was add a chainsaw. And I think, yeah, that was really all they've done. Chainsaw a new head, I guess. But other than that, we'll address that later. Other than that, they really haven't done anything to this guy to really make him special. This does have a tendency, for me at least, I've had issues with this one popping out, so I just stopped fixing it. Need to slide him so I can keep turning. But yeah, so I've gone to look him up. He first appeared in Invincible Iron Man, issue 25, or volume 5, number 25 in 2010. Yeah, so he's old, but I've never heard of him really. Like, the only other appearance he has, I don't have out. There was a Lego figure they made for him, and it was like part of a set with Coulson and stuff. But like, this Marvel Legend, I can't even process what I'm saying because it's so weird to me that this Marvel Legend and Lego is like all we have to prove this character exists outside of 3 photos from the books. Okay, so on Wikipedia, there's like a total 2 paragraphs on this guy. So, from what I can find, I think this one I'm looking at, like the toy, is probably based off Doug Johnson III. Don't know who that is. Don't know if he's a major character in Iron Man. I haven't read a lot of Iron Man comics. But it was built by Justine and Sasha Hammer after Justin's death. Okay, so getting that all out of the way, because that was so short to do, I really thought there would be more to this guy, like some, you know, somewhat obscure but pretty popular comic character. No, this guy just, no one cares for him, I think. And it also shows in the sales as well that just, this is not a character people really wanted. You know, and I do get why. Like, why are we getting Detroit Steel before we get a proper Ironmonger, you know what I mean? Or a classic Crimson Dynamo. I feel like those would be better uses of our time and money, especially because this was supposed to be, what, San Diego exclusive? Or no, PulseCon exclusive. This was supposed to be a PulseCon exclusive figure, but it is literally just a repaint. People, save your money. This guy is not worth your $50 because he's not even accurate. The articulation wise, again, he's the same as Ironmonger. He doesn't really look up. He kind of does. Just a tad until you pop his head off, and then he really can. Doesn't really look down all too much unless you bend forward. His arms can go a little above a T-pose. They are single jointed. He's got this little rotating piece here. His legs come up like that. But, you know, like, again, he's just not this circular in design. He's really blocky and square in everything I could see. So I don't know why they've gone this route with him. And, like, you can't really pose him without his gun firing. I also have to admit, this guy's big. I don't have a lot of space for him with where I have to put my camera. And if I slide it back anymore, it's going off the table with whatever I just hit with my arm. I hope it wasn't something important. Oh, well. So, yeah, you can't really, you know, pose him without these firing pieces because then he just has bullets flying out randomly because this is, like, molded in. You can't take this off. So, yeah, I have to say, this will probably be a pretty short, quick review because I just don't have a lot to say about him because there's not much to say. You know, if we do just some height comparisons, I guess, because that's the only other thing I can really think to do with this guy. Again, it's such an obscure character that it's really hard to nail, and I get that to an extent. I think scale-wise, he does work because he is supposed to tower over Tony. And I'm just using the Extremis armor because it's what's closest to me. Let's see, do I have any others nearby? No, I don't. Yeah, I'm really conflicted on this guy, because on one hand, I love the color scheme and all that. But once I looked at the comic images, I really feel like, we could have done so much better with it. You know what I mean? Like, you had a really cool design to take from and really get inspired by, and you just don't take it. And, like, this guy is also a modern Iron Man villain that appeared. Now, it does seem like he's had 3 appearances in the books total. So I get where it's hard to make a figure, but at that point, why did you make a figure? Like, again, Ironmonger. I'd love to get an updated version of him. Titanium Man. We've never even gotten Titanium Man in the Marvel Legends line. I love that. That's one of my all-time favorite Iron Man villains. And then Crimson Dynamo, we did have the Black Widow wave one, but I would like to see a more classic one. Let me just take Iron Man off. So yeah, if you do decide to get this guy, number one, sculpt is off. If you just want him for representation, I understand. But wait for a sale because he will go. Because he is still, like, he hasn't sold out, and I'm convinced I'm one of, like, 10 people that bought him. So one thing to look out for, this head, quite literally, I can twist like that, and it already popped off, as you can see. These fins in the back are normally, yeah, there it is. I can tell you I did not pull very hard on that to yank that. And once again, that head just pops straight off. I talked about this a little bit. Like, it's such an awkward thing. And then it's hard to plug back in. But that has been popping out on me all the time. You can see it. It happened on this other arm. And yeah, it's not that important, but like, extend it out. Do something if you want those to be there. So overall, I would say do not get this figure. It is a disappointment in almost every sense of the word. Its scale, I think it's still a little small. I would have loved to seen it, go up a bit more. It should have had a fully new sculpt, especially for being an exclusive. That's what really gets me, is that it was an exclusive Marvel Legend, but they couldn't take their time to sculpt it. I'm also just now looking into my camera and noticing you can see Boba Fett. I don't know if you noticed it before. I really hope I'm not boring you at all. I don't have a lot to say on this guy, but I figured someone should talk about him because people might spend their money on this thinking, maybe it's not that bad. I like the Ironmonger design, but really looking at this guy in the books, it is clearly not a design that fits him as a character. He has a machine gun that always has to be shooting. Of course, it is just the basic smoke effect. Again, this came with Ironmonger. You can plug it into any one of these holes, like so. He has the chainsaw, and I mean, another way they could have made this guy just a little more worth it was give him some swappable hands. Like, give him one that makes it look more like he's, maybe grabbing Tony or something. I don't know. Anything that could have given this guy just a little more value. There you go. That's a pretty okay pose, I guess. But, this isn't like Ironmonger where at times I just want to sit down and play with him. Because this one is so finicky that I feel like I'm going to pop everything off. So, yeah. With no... Oh, okay. I thought he was going to fall. There's just no way I could recommend this to anyone to buy. This has got to be probably I don't want to call it the worst Legend, because there's some others I want to talk about in the coming weeks that are worse. But this one is, I almost consider it worse because it was PulseCon exclusive, because it's $50, and because I paid for it, and it's $60 once you pay the shipping on it, or more. So yeah, this is a major disappointment, if you ask me. Do not buy this. Don't even think about it, actually, unless you want to review it or something, because I know there's some people out there that just need to review every toy. Don't. I got this guy because I thought he looked fun. I thought, man, this will be a fun one to pose around fighting Iron Man. But once I get him in hand and this head pops off with such ease, like it's just resting on the peg at the moment, it's just not very fun to pose. And, I can get decent ones like this, but it feels like I should be able to get more. And again, he should have had a blockier design. He should have had a different look that they did not give him and charge you $50 for an inaccurate figure. And the other way, I know that they were planning on getting some of y'all, and one way they got me, I can't speak, I guess, was FOMO. They knew you'd be scared that you might miss out on this toy if it was an exclusive, because no one would have bought this on any regular day. With any amount of research, I should have known better, and I didn't. But I've made the mistake, and hopefully you guys won't have to. So, with all that said, thank you for watching. Please, if you did enjoy, subscribe. If you found it helpful, subscribe. Hit the like button. Do what everyone asks you to do. And remember, don't buy them. And I just can't stress that enough. There's some great figures out there that you could get for $50. This is not one of them. So yeah, with all of that said, I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.